What do I think of BarelyPolitical's newest series? Space Girl! Let's converse upon it. Mario Pacheco's Swivel Chair of Range. Hello and welcome to Mario Pacheco's Swivel Chair of Rage. I'm Mario Pacheco, and this is my swivel chair. Now, I've been following YouTube's BarelyPolitical pretty much since the beginning, like 4 or 5 years ago. I got started like we all did with the Obama girl. I always thought she was cute, which is weird because I'm a Republican. She was on the O'Reilly factor though once. Anyway, over the years, BarelyPolitical has oddly enough decided to focus more on nerd culture and popular music. So now they're literally barely political. I especially love the Key of Awesome, their series of parody music videos. More recently, there's been Super Therapy, which is our favorite comic book superheroes going to therapy with mixed results. There's also the Barely Guys, which are the men of the BarelyPolitical / the Key of Awesome comedy troupe messing around with some puppets. I mean, who messes around with puppets and does it so well? However, there are things the thing I love the most about BarelyPolitical / the Key of Awesome is the incomparable Lauren Francesca, their resident Lady Gaga impersonator. I am like Lauren Francesca's biggest fan. Anyone who's been watching my videos will already know this, but I will say it again. I actually met Lauren Francesca at the New York Comic Con last October. I'm not going to regale you again with the details. You can check that out, and the video I actually got to make with her at Comic Con below. Given that, of course, I was excited about BarelyPolitical's newest sci-fi comic parody series, Space Girl, starring Lauren Francesca as, well, Space Girl. Now, this has been in the works for a long time now. Lauren mentions it in an interview with Tubefilter that you can see back in August of 2011. And at the time it was apparently called Space Baby. So I've been waiting for this for a while now. And it does not disappoint. There are 3 videos out so far. You can check them out below. It's definitely in the same vein as Eric Beck and Tom Small's Nerd Trilogy of videos on BarelyPolitical, consisting of Sexy Cyborg, Moon Girl, and Tron Girl. Lauren Francesca does also appear prominently in Sexy Cyborg and Tron Girl. You can check those out below as well. Anyway, I'm going to tell you what I liked and what I didn't like about Space Girl so far. First, a summary of the series. In episode 1, Space Girl is attacked while approaching the planet Slugulon and has to crash land while dealing with her uncooperative ship's computer, which very clearly has a sapphic infatuation with her. In episode 2, after crash landing on the planet Slugulon, Space Girl faces off with the villainous Dr. Brain, played by Mark Douglas, and his killer Squiggly, as he struggles to get his missile up to penetrate the defenses of the planet Slugulon. Dr. Brain's missile fires prematurely. Space Girl manages to escape the Squiggly and mount the missile. Episode 3, Space Girl attempts to deactivate the missile, but discovers that deactivating it requires killing an adorable Scrunchy Wunchy creature, which is genetically designed to especially appeal to her female nurturing instincts. Space Girl is left with a heart-rending and stomach-churning decision of whether or not to sacrifice the adorable Scrunchy Wunchy in order to save the disgusting Slugulon aliens, who enjoy the smell of their own flatus and eating their own excrement. Yeah. So what did I like? Well, I liked a lot of things. Like the cheap, campy 1950s and 60s sci-fi feel it has, like Flash Gordon, Lost in Space, or the original Star Trek. I like seeing and especially recognizing cultural references, and Space Girl is loaded with them. In the first episode, Obviously, the Sapphic computer is a reference to HAL 9000, the villainous but not quite gay computer from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Space Girl also repairs her ship with what looks like to be a lightsaber from Star Wars. In the second episode, the engineer on Dr. Brain's ship appears to be a Ferengi from Star Trek. Also, the squiggly could be like the Sarlacc from Return of the Jedi, or it could be like how the Kraken from Pirates of the Caribbean is like the Sarlacc from Return of the Jedi. Go figure. Third episode, I guess you could say that Space Girl riding the missile is like the riding the bomb scene towards the end of Doctor Strangelove. In tone, Space Girl reminds me a lot of Futurama, which I used to love when I was a kid. I'm glad Comedy Central decided to bring it back, but it doesn't quite feel the same. Anywho, I can't help but feel that Futurama was a big influence on Space Girl, and there are references to that peppered throughout. The plot of episode 1 is very similar to the Futurama season 4 episode, Love and Rocket. The name of the planet Slugulon seems to be inspired by the planet Wormulon, the planet of the slurm slugs, from the Futurama season 2 episode, Fry in the Slurm Factory. Most obviously, Dr. Brain resembles Futurama's Heads in Jars. It has a spiky necklace and a plaque with his name on it that they all have. Can't help but feel that Dr. Brain is also influenced by the lobe from Freakazoid, since his head is also a brain. I used to love Freakazoid when I was young, but not for that. Space Girls, pardon my French of course, badassness, fondness for cute cuddly creatures, and blue hair with a ponytail might also be a nod to Futurama's Leela, who is similarly badass, loves animals, and has purple hair with a ponytail. But of course, Leela only has one eye. Wouldn't it be great if Lauren was on Futurama? See that? Made that from the Futurama Head in a Jar app for the iPhone. One thing I didn't like about the second episode is that there's an inordinate focus on Dr. Brain, played by Mark Douglas. I mean, the series is called Space Girl, right? I want to see more Space Girl. What can you expect from the guy who made himself the Master Control program in the Tron Girl video? Third episode is interesting though, where Space Girl is forced to choose between killing an adorable Scrunchy Wunchy to deactivate the missile threatening to destroy the disgusting Slugulons, or letting the Slugulons die to let the Scrunchy Wunchy live. The Scrunchy Wunchy also says things to her like, "Will you take me home and be my mommy? And can we snuggle up together and watch Dancing with the Stars?" It's funny because you don't normally see a sci-fi heroine cowed into submission by a cute cuddly creature. Certainly Ripley from the Alien series would not be. The heroines of sci-fi are usually hypersexualized, but kind of masculine in a way. It's a fact that women have nurturing instincts. They are meant to be mothers in one way or another. That kind of rhymes. For all I know, this is possibly art imitating life. Anyone subscribed to Lauren's vlog channel, Secret Life of Lauren, will know that about Lauren's strong affection for her dog George. In the end, even in a satirical context, it's kind of nice to see a strong sci-fi heroine who isn't afraid to be a woman. I don't know if it spoils the yet-to-be-released next episode, but if she doesn't deactivate the missile to save the Scrunchy Wunchy, she and it will die anyway when the missile explodes. Overall, the series is pretty cheeky. It's part of what I didn't like about it. Episode 1 with the Sapphic computer is laced with all kinds of innuendo for, how do I put it most modestly, collegiate Sapphic activities. On the 4th season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they called it doing spells. The ship even has a bosom, as the whole ship is apparently a Sappist. Episode 2, Dr. Brain can't seem to say anything that isn't an innuendo, from statues of wigs that squirt mind control fluid to be swallowed wholeheartedly into people's mouths, to his missile firing prematurely. Yeah. They do seem to hang a lantern on it, though, as Dr. Brain becomes increasingly frustrated by how everything he says is interpreted as an innuendo. and the Slugulon president and his cohorts laughing at him. You know, Stephen King once called early 20th century horror author H.P. Lovecraft's alien squid movie Cthulhu as, pardon my French, of course, a giant tentacly equipped killer vagina from outer space. I don't know for sure if maybe the squidly is supposed to be that as well. Episode 3 doesn't have much in the way of innuendo except for an extended close-up of Space Girl's bosom, but instead has a bunch of scatological humor in regard to the Slugulon. So what do I think of this? Like I said, I feel Futurama is possibly an influence on Space Girl. Now Futurama does have a fair share of dirty jokes, but doesn't rely on them wholly. Note that Futurama's first dirty joke appears in the beginning of the second episode. Futurama makes a lot of jokes about particle physics. They have a highly intelligent sense of humor. You can't really expect less from Matt Groening. I love that even though Futurama is now on Comedy Central, which gave us the incredibly vulgar South Park, they have chosen to show a considerable amount of restraint in the cheekiness of their humor. Anyway, I admit that there are far more perverted things on YouTube, like the Fine Bros and Jason Horton. You can check those out below if you dare. And even far worse that I shan't mention. But then there's far less perverted things, few and far between as they may be, like Rhett and Link. I encourage you to check them out below. They're awesome. Space Girl and BarelyPolitical / The Key of Awesome in general tend to keep to the middle of the road in cheekiness. So if you're okay with that, Space Girl is definitely worth checking out. This concludes Mario Pacheco's Swivel Chair of Rage. If you like what you have seen, please like, favorite, subscribe, and comment. All those nice things. Thank you for watching. God bless you all, and God bless America.